Marianne Bachmeier. This is a story of a mother who revenged her daughter with taking the law into her own hand. Before I begin with the case, I would like to tell shortly the life story of Marianne Bachmeier. She grew up in Sarstedt near Hildesheim, where her parents fled from East Prussia. She was raised by her conservative religious parents. The father was a heavy drinker and fought many times with the mother. Later her parents separated and her mother remarried. Herself was a troubled child and the mother kicked her out of the house. At the age of 16, Marianne Bachmeier became a mother, and at 18 she became pregnant again by her then partner. But it should be said that before giving birth to her second daughter, she got assaulted. And because of her own private problems, she gave up her first two children for adoption after their birth. In 1972, her third daughter Anna was born, who grew up with her. And while taking care of her daughter, Marianne Bachmeier ran the Tipasa bar in Lübeck. Marianne Bachmeier was a single mother who walked. And because of that, she took her child, Anna, often to the pub. As a result of the circumstances, she wanted to give Anna for adoption, that she could at least have a better and organized life than hers. The day everything changed. On 5th May 1980, the 7-year-old Anna Bachmeier did not go to school with her mother's permission. She wanted to visit a friend her age, but instead fell into the hands of the 35-year-old butcher Klaus Grabowski. He allegedly held her captive for several hours at his home and then strangled her with a tide. According to the prosecutor's office, he packed the bound body of the girl in a box and placed it in a hollow at the edge of a canal. Later, he allegedly put the body in a hole and covered it with the soil. In the evening, he was arrested at the Im Alten Zolln restaurant after he confessed to his girlfriend, who then went to the police. Klaus Grabowski was a previously convicted sex offender who had been sentenced for sexual abuse of 2 girls. During his imprisonment, he was castrated in 1976, but underwent hormone treatment 2 years later. Marianne Bachmeier and Anna's biological father, Christian Berthold, later unsuccessfully filed a criminal complaint against the urologist who had performed hormone treatment on Grabowski, and this, in their opinion, restored his danger. During the police interrogation, Grabowski confessed to killing the girl, but denied any sexual abuse and claimed that the girl had tried to steal 1 German mark from him. And while threatening to tell her mother that he had touched her improperly. The courtroom. On 6 March 1981, on the 3rd day of the trial, Marianne Bachmeier smuggled a gun into the courtroom of the Lübeck Regional Court and used it to shoot Klaus Grabowski, who was on trial for the murder of her daughter Anna. She aimed the gun at Grabowski's back and fired a total of 8 times, with 7 shots hitting him. The 35-year-old Grabowski died instantly. After that, she didn't even attempt to flee and was arrested and charged with murder. A recording of the shoot. the most sensational case of vigilantism in the Federal Republic of Germany, caused a large media outcry and was controversially discussed in public. Television crews from all over the world traveled to Lübeck to report on the case. Reporters interviewed numerous passerbys on the street. Bachmeier's actions were met with mixed reactions. Some saw her as a grieving mother who took matters into her own hand. They sympathized with her and felt that the legal system had failed, while others condemned it as incompatible with the rule of law. Marianne Bachmeier sold her life story exclusively to the news magazine Stern for around 250,000 German marks. She confided in Stern reporter Heiko Gebhardt, who was allowed to visit her during her pre-trial detention. Her role as a mother was also controversially discussed, as she had intended to give her child to foster parents shortly before Anna's death. Marianne Bachmeier's case. Marianne Bachmeier was charged with murder on 2 November 1982 before the Schwurgerichtskammer, so jury chamber, of the Lübeck District Court. However, the prosecutor later dropped the murder charge against her. During her trial, Marianne Bachmeier's defense argued that she was acting under extreme emotional distress and should be charged with a lesser offense. After 28 trial days, on the 2nd March of 1983, she was sentenced to 6 years in prison for manslaughter and illegal possession of weapons. After serving 2/3 of her sentence, with credit for time spent in pre-trial detention, the remaining sentence was suspended on probation in 1985. After getting out of the prison, Marianne Bachmeier got married in 1985 and moved to Lagos, Nigeria in 1988 with her husband, who was a teacher. They lived in a German camp where her husband taught at the German school. They divorced in 1990, and she went to Sicily. After she found out she had cancer, she returned to Germany. 13 years after her act, in 1994, she gave an interview to the Deutschlandfunk 7 radio and many others till the day she died. She told in one of her interviews that her action was not right, but never publicly regretted her act of revenge and apologized for it. In a documentary, an old friend of her told that Marianne practiced shooting in the basement under her pub before she went to the trial. The end. Marianne Bachmeier passed away on 17 September 1996 at the age of 46 due to pancreatic cancer at a hospital in Lübeck. Her wish was to die in her adopted home of Palermo. Before her death, she asked NDR reporter Lukas Maria Böhmer to accompany her with a film camera during her final phase of life. She was buried at Burgtorf Friedhof Cemetery in Lübeck, beside the grave of her daughter Anna. Around 2014, the grave was leveled, but in 2017, a new tombstone was placed, which bears the first names and birth dates of both mother and daughter. So, what are you thinking about the case? Do you think that she did the right thing or not?